the Chicago area today, big guy? All right, let's do it. Daze with Jordan the Lion begins now. In fact, welcome to Indiana. Hello there, Elkheart. Here's our destination for today, Hall of Heroes, Superhero Museum. As soon as you walk in, they have a bench right here. You can sit down with Superman. There's some kryptonite. Wow, this place is amazing. Got a little bit of a rundown. Apparently they have the largest comic book collection in any store. It's the only superhero museum. They have everything categorized from DC, Marvel. They have movie memorabilia. This should be quite an experience. He started me off by telling me that this is the smallest comic book collection in the world. As far as the comics themselves are these tiny little books. Kids would get them out of the little vending machine, and you can actually see a little image of the vending machine on there. Use a magnifying glass to read the comic. How novel. And they said the Hulk here is 600 pounds and was actually on the red carpet for the Avengers movie. And they have the original Captain America costume, or by Reb Brown, the 1979 movie. And then it looks like the shield is even signed. But then if you look over here, you'll see another shield, another Captain America. That is from the first Avenger, 2011, and it's signed by the cast. It's got a little bit of wear to it too. You can see all the autographs on the back there. Very cool, but you can see the wear around the edges and everything of it. You can see up here the shield from the 2011 movie, one of the 6 shields that they used for Chris Evans. It says it was donated to the museum by a Hollywood dealer who saw him on the Toy Hunter television series. And all of these photos actually show the actors signing that shield for them. Alan Bellman's desk. Wow, Alan Bellman was started Timely Comics, 1942. He was part of basically getting it all started with Stan Lee and all those guys. Then over here they have some original comic pages and drawings. Jack Kirby, 1963 Avengers. That's an original page from Bill Everett, 1967 for Tales to Astonish. You can see little notes off to the side. There's also one of the Timely Comics artists. First artist, in fact. And he created Daredevil with Stan Lee. Over here, an original page of Captain America. And that was the very first Marvel comic. That one right there depicted on the book. Signed picture from Lou Ferrigno. Captain America was the first timely Marvel character to have an appearance outside of comic books. Republic Films filmed 15 black and white serials in 1944. It's Captain America. Now over here they actually have the Ghost Rider Hell Cycle. Yep, the one that Nicolas Cage, or one of the ones that Nicolas Cage rode in the movie. It says 11-foot long chopper that is literally hell on wheels, made out of resin and used for green screen scenes starring Ghost Rider. This amazing Marvel movie vehicle is owned and displayed here at the museum. It was ridden by Nicolas Cage. And for $10 you can sit on it and take a photo. That is pretty cool. Look at that. I know Nicolas Cage is a huge fan of comics and really, really wanted to be Ghost Rider. And you see over here, there's Iron Man, and then Iron Man 2, and they actually have crashed vehicle. You can see it's a 65 Shelby Cobra where he landed on it. Remember that in the movie? Right there. He lands right on that piece. And you can also take a photo with that. Oh, look, they actually have a photo of that scene of him falling into it, destroying it. So that would happen right there. Pretty cool. So they have tons and tons of like action figures and comics and all that stuff. And the museum is what you want it to be, I guess, because I'm here mainly for props and things like that. And they have tons of that stuff to see, from masks and all kinds of stuff all over the place. But also lots of memorabilia, toys, all kinds of stuff we're going to see here. This is the She-Hulk costume that Brigitte Nielsen wore. It's an unreleased She-Hulk film from 1991. It was started, the movie was started, and the production was started and everything, but it was never completed. Brigitte Nielsen was in Rocky IV, if you remember. There's Nick Fury. It says Samuel L. Jackson was not the first actor to portray Nick Fury. Nick Fury Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. movie that came out in 1998 starring David Hasselhoff. This is David Hasselhoff's outfit from the movie. Neat. First appearance by Thor in a comic was 1962. That is the Sandman Marquette. It says Thomas Hayden Church is the Sandman for Spider-Man 3, 2007. Used for special effects. It says Thomas Hayden Church played this character in the scenes where he was 3 stories tall. This clay figure built to scale was used. Hollywood Special Effects used it. So if you get a look at it, I'm trying to show you without the light reflection, but you can see him right there. And you can see the truck down there and everything. You can see kind of how they used it in the movie right there. And this is the actual mask worn by Ryan Reynolds in the 2016 Deadpool movie. The white dots you see on the mask were used for CGI to make the mask look like it was actual leather. Ryan wore this thin material mask so you could see his facial expressions on camera. That definitely makes sense. I love the Crypt Keeper and Tales from the Crypt type stuff, so I immediately was drawn to this case, which has some Tales from the Crypt in there, including Seduction of the Innocent. Superman, he was the very first superhero, first comic book superhero anyway, I mean. He appeared in the pages of Action Comics #1, June of 1938. There you can see they merchandise him with a string puppet that you could buy. And then the next one, the next superhero was Batman, who had no superpowers, really. Just an extraordinary man. Superman muscle building set. They released one of those for Hulk Hogan too. Oh wow. I guess here they had a meet and greet with Tom Cook at some point, who did He-Man. There is the Riddler costume that Jim Carrey wore for Batman Forever, 1995. Wow. They have quite a collection here. They said they are the only superhero museum like this. Look behind us, they have a whole setup for Batman, the original Batman, Batgirl. That is great. And some Adam West. Looks like an Adam West costume, actually. I mean, that looks like that could be a real one. Yeah, it says Adam West's personal Batman costume that he wore for appearances during the 1970s and 80s. Boots are from 1966 through 68 television series. So he actually did wear this. Not on screen, but he wore it to appearances, personal appearances. That's what that plaque says, and then there's a letter of authenticity for each item below it, signed by Adam West, from Adam West. Seeing that motorcycle's pretty cool, but man, the boots, seeing just how worn out those are and knowing those were actually used for the show, that's pretty cool to see. That could very well be those boots right there. Oh, that's cool. That toy shows what the Batcave would have really looked like. There's a little kid's toy pedal car. The kid can sit in there in the seat, and then the little pedal down there. Little pedal system. Oh, look at the red telephone. Dean Cain's Superman costume from Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman is inside here. It says, Dean Cain is a great friend of our museum and has been a special guest both here at the museum and the Hall of Heroes Comic-Con. Very nice, very cool. That's his costume from Adventures Lois and Clark, I believe it was. The whole costume, all the way down to the boots. Nice touch. All right, let's see what this is. Obviously, some sort of Superman costume. And this is all Wonder Woman. Linda Carter was Wonder Woman on the television series that ran for 3 seasons, 59 episodes, from 1975 to 1979. Was set in World War II in the first season, and the second and third seasons, which went to CBS, was set in current day. And speaking of Wonder Woman, Gal Gadot. Here you have Justice League, more modern day Superman. Now this is awesome. William Katt's actual costume from the Greatest American Hero television series. Funny story, Adam the Woo and I were at the Hollywood show one time, and we're walking down the entrance hall, and this guy, like say Adam and I are walking right here, all of a sudden this guy comes out of this doorway with his face looking that way, talking to somebody, and backs right into me. And he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, excuse me." I go, no worries. So we keep walking. Adam goes, "Oh my God, you know who that was? That was the Greatest American Hero that ran into you." So that's funny. There's his actual costume. Pretty little guy back then. Man, that's a tiny costume. But that is one that he wore on the television series with the cape. Even signed it right up here. That's fun to see. What a great theme song, huh? That was a really great theme song. And here's all kinds of different merch from the show, from the series. And they're acknowledging the Transformers also. I wasn't quite sure if Transformers were considered superheroes or not, but I loved the Transformers when I was a kid. I thought the whole concept was just great. Always wanted the one that was called Ghetto Blaster. There's Optimus Prime. Actually, there's Ghetto Blaster right back there. It was like a boombox, and it had a tape that you could put in the cassette thing, but the cassette itself would fold out into like a pterodactyl transformer, and then the boombox itself would also turn into a transformer. It would fold out. And this is all Justice League and Green Lantern and stuff like that. But as I said, I'm always more drawn to the stuff from movies, TVs, stuff like that. So here is the Tick costume that Patrick Warburton wore The original costume that he wore in the series from early 2000s. This was actually, he kept the costume and he donated it to the museum. Said he wore it from 2001 to 2002 on the television series. It's actually pretty funny. Look how much it's wearing out. You can kind of see the wear and tear right there. And they lifted the boot part of the costume, kind of like Gene Simmons. Been very cool to see the whole costume and that he allows it to be seen here. And then just past it, how much cooler does it get than freaking the Lone Ranger costume? Clayton Moore's personal costume, it says. That is awesome. It says Clayton Moore, Lone Ranger series from 1949 to 57. This was a personal costume that he wore at appearances from the 1960s through the 90s. It has a pretty good home here, I would say, wouldn't you? That's very cool. He definitely, I would consider him definitely a superhero. And maybe in some people's world, Sheldon from Big Bang Theory would be considered a superhero, but they actually have one of his shirts from the show. I think they have him just because he's a super fan in pop culture. Oh, that's cool. A signed picture from Billy Zane for the Phantom. I love the Phantom. Items here, the Phantom, that really cool knife. And some figures and comics. Even Mighty Mouse. Underdog. I loved Underdog too. And of course the Archies. I also love Space Ghost. Space Ghost was a classic. His talk show and the TV show. An actual drawing of Space Ghost from Hanna-Barbera. Space Ghost Halloween mask. I had no idea. And they're talking about how big these became in kids' Halloween costumes, and the kids would want all of this stuff for Halloween. And they have a bronze of, it says the Ben Cooper mold right there. Green Lantern, Aquaman, Captain Atom, and Mr. Fantastic. He used his mold for the faces. And that Flash helmet on display is signed. You can see right there. It says it is John Wesley Shipp's Flash helmet. Some really early figures. Captain Marvel figures from the 40s. And the Green Lantern. It says we have on exhibit Ryan Reynolds' screen-used lantern ring. It's used in the 2011 Green Lantern film. There it is with description. Very cool to see. Very cool he loaned it. Bob Kane, the creator of Batman, that was one of his original drawings for Robin when he introduced Robin. These are the kind they used in the original Batman series. A Taiwan Batmobile. That's not a bad Batmobile, really, is it? That's pretty cool. Oh, Egghead. Vincent Price. There's a cowl signed by Adam West. A signed picture from Julie Newmar. And this is cool in the 1960s toy case. That was a Batman mask. That big heavy plastic. There's a Riddler hat and mask, and one of the $100 bills that Jim Carrey used in the movie. And then it looks like this cowl was used by George Clooney. They have a picture of him down here with it. That is a prop from the Batman and Robin movie. Stand-in prop, stand-in bird. Oh, this section's for the Green Hornet. That's cool. Bruce Lee was in the Green Hornet. There's a Green Hornet mask. Bruce Lee was his sidekick, Kato, and Driver. And then, of course, you can't forget all the lunch boxes. Kids' lunchbox promotions. Then I mentioned they had the largest comic book collection in the world. That's all in these shelves right here. This is kind of cool. They have a list of all the famous people that have come to visit. I'll just give you a few names or a few descriptions of people that came. Lori Petty from A League of Their Own. John Wesley Shipp from The Flash. Dean Cain. Reb Brown from the original Captain America. William Catt from Greatest American Hero. John Schneider from Dukes of Hazzard. Katrina Law from Arrow and Spartacus. Sven Gulli. Oh, wow. Pretty good list. Lou Ferrigno, John Heater, John Ratzenberger, who was Cliff Clavin. Pretty good list. Well, my friends, we're going to call it a day. We are going to make our way towards Detroit because we got to pick up Katie tomorrow. So thank you all for watching. Have a great night and goodbye.